now the man accused of shooting and killing a Montana sheriff's deputy appeared in court today. Lloyd Barrus pleaded not guilty to 25 different charges, including murder. While in court, though, Barrus apologized, saying, quote, "Tell Officer Moore's wife and kids I'm sorry for their loss." His trial is set for November 13th. Barrus was with his son, who was killed in a shootout with police, but tonight his other son is opening up, talking about his father and violence he saw firsthand. KHQ local news reporter Adam Mayer did the interview, and Adam, you were struck by his honesty during the conversation.
Well, Dan, he was brutally honest, and he didn't hide the fact or hide any excuses or make any excuses for his father. But he did have one message to share, is that despite all of it, you don't have to follow in your family's footsteps if there is a history of violence.
It was an emotional plea in the form of a letter sent to a Montana newspaper that caught our attention.
I'm sorry that this happened.
Al Barrus opened about the guilt and the pain he feels over the loss of a deputy's life at the hands of his father and half-brother.
Death was unnecessary.
Deputy Mason Moore was shot to death on this stretch of road off of I-90 east of Bozeman, Montana, during a traffic stop. His dad, Lloyd Barrus, now in jail accused of the murder. His half-brother, Marshall, now dead after a police shootout. From 1,000 miles away in Albuquerque, Al was open about his profound sadness, but not surprised about what happened. He remembers growing up with the violence.
We wanted to have the police come by and just take us away from that home. And the police said that they were afraid that when the police came, that he'd just kill all of us.
Al told us his mom tried to keep the family together. He and his 3 sisters and 2 half-brothers remained in the abusive household until one night when it got too much.
He went out drinking, and we literally had to sneak out in the middle of the night.
That would be one of the last times Al would see his father and his 2 half-brothers.
Since I was 6 or 7 years old, I promised myself not to be like him.
Al went into the military, where he was a writer and photographer, and he would go on to start his own family. Finally, he decided to make a connection with his dad on Facebook. That's where he noticed the violence reemerge and the downward spiral that he believes led to the murder.
I reached out to some other people who I thought might have some power, some connections in law enforcement, and then I just kind of left it alone because it was bothering me too much.
Officer down, Broadwater County, mile marker 109 on 287. Sounds like a gunshot.
Now he mourns for the half-brother who he believes never had a chance to get away from his father's influence.
He's a lot closer with Lloyd. He described him as his best friend.
And he mourns for the family, who he knows is grieving for the husband and father who should have never been stolen from them.
My deep condolences to the family of Mason Moore and to his friends and his colleagues.
Now, Al told me 2 things that have stuck with me. The first is that if you are in an abusive relationship, seek help. It's because of hate starts at home. And the second, I just want to make sure that I get this correct. I'm going to look down. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that love conquers hate. Dan?